Hey guys, 412 Sports Cards here today, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Prizm Silvers and select Courtsides. Which one should you be putting your money in? So let's get right into it, breaking it down. Prizm Silvers. Got three right here, Jaren and two kind of no-names. Obviously it's a refractory finish on the base card, so that's what makes it appealing to a lot of people. It's really shiny, but they do have the practice shots, so they're not in-game action shots. And as far as rarity goes, 1 to 2 per blaster box, so that's definitely relatively common. And you're getting 22 Prizm parallels, which these are the most common of, per hobby box. So you're getting quite a few of them. They're pretty common, but they are highly sought after. And I won't lie, the silver finish does look pretty gorgeous. Select Courtsides, on the other hand, are pretty rare, falling 2 per hobby box, and are featuring in-game action shots. First major card set to feature in-game action shots each year, and I think that makes them. If you look at the Jaren and at select silver or select Courtside in this Prizm Silver, I think the Courtside looks a lot better. So I personally would say they look better and they're more rare. So with the card appearance and rarity in mind, it would seem like the Courtsides, in my opinion at least, should sell for more than the Prizm Silvers, but because they have nowhere near the brand recognition, they're going for way less. So let's get into kind of looking at some historical pricing before we kind of move into what I'm going to kind of give you some investment advice from my market analysis. I'm going to give you some of that here after we get through some of this pricing information. So we're going to talk about Luka, Trey, and Jaren for the purposes of this video. Mostly Luka and Trey because they have a lot graded. They're the easiest to look at pop reports and pricing on. So Luka, we're going to look at silvers. He has 3,029 PSA graded and Prizm Silvers. And Courtsides, he has only 122 graded. So, Trey Young, you can see, has 2,700 silvers, 50 Courtsides about. So way, way, way less Courtsides. Now, part of that's a function of the silvers being worth more and that the Courtsides were underappreciated very, very much, still are, and were incredibly underappreciated until very recently. So that's what a lot of the discrepancy is, but it definitely does show you that the Courtsides are way rarer than the silvers. There are way less of them, which is, a pretty desirable thing. Jaren Jackson of, this card, only 12 are PSA graded. So clearly these cards have been slept on for a while. So talking about the prices, Luka PSA 10 silvers are going for about 3,000 now, with PSA 10s of this card of the select Courtside about 1,400. That ended a week ago on bids. Obviously there are only about a little over 100 of them. They don't come up that often. So it's kind of hard to tell sometimes what the exact market price is, but it's about 2x silvers over Courtsides for Luka. Now, Trey Young, I'll pull up some cards of his. The silvers are $750 for PSA 10. The Courtside, the last one we have that ended on bids was $250 in the end of May, so we're assuming that those are probably worth more now. Once again, about that 2 times multiplier between the silvers and the Courtsides. Now, something funny happens when we look at Jaren Jackson. We're going to use raw for Jaren because there just aren't enough Courtsides graded. But the silver, this card, is going for $80, while this Courtside is going for $110. We were talking about with Luka and Trey about the silver being 2 times as valuable, and here the Courtside is more valuable, which is kind of crazy. But I think we're going to talk about here is why Jaren, what we can learn from Jaren being an outlier. So in my book, new collectors or investors who are gravitating towards the hobby are much more likely to be 1, interested in Luka and Trey, and 2, be buying up Prizm Silvers rather than other brands because they aren't as knowledgeable about the hobby yet. So I think what this helps us understand is that the guys who are buying up these cards, the guys who are buying Jaren, are definitely more savvy hobbyists than the brand new ones who are just dumping money into silvers of Luka and Trey. So these less hyped prospects have people who are investing in them who are looking to extract value and find undervalued assets. So I think what that shows you is that people looking for value are saying, hey, People looking for value are the people investing in Jaren, and they're saying, hey, these Courtsides are way rarer than silvers, and they're a good underappreciated asset in the current times. So we should be putting our money to work in them. So what does this kind of show us? I think it shows us, and it's kind of counterintuitive, that the best buys are in Courtsides, or we're kind of right under our noses. It's Luka and Trey, and possibly Shy, although I haven't done that research yet. I mean, all it would really take is for new hobbyists to get a little bit of education on the rarity of Courtsides, kind of learn like the experienced hobbyists who are investing in Jaren have, that these Courtsides are rare and should be worth more. And I think you're going to see the prices increase. I mean, it's a little bit of a long-term play, but I certainly like the strategy of pursuing Courtsides of better players rather than just like gambling on silvers of lesser players and hoping that like hype kind of carries you. But I think that as the new blood in the market kind of learns more, they're going to be less blindly dumping money into silvers, and when they're looking at the better players, they're going to look at cards like these Courtsides that are rare. Now, in addition to the rarity, there's several. A main reason I think these Courtsides are going to gain respect over time is the action shots. I mean, here you can see this Jaren base in the back. Sorry for the glare. I think they just look so much better. And I think that when you look back at like LeBron, his rookies in 2003, which there are tons and tons of, by the way. I mean, that market is so many different rookie brands. The ones that have action shots are the ones that are performing better, and I think you can see that across a whole bunch of different rookies. I think that the new blood in the hobby is going to realize, like, hey, there's something to be said for the way these cards look, and that they look better, and that there's desirability from the photography. And I think that that is going to be a catalyst for growth for these Courtsides, and which is why I personally like them so much. So in conclusion, I'm going to say that the Prizm silver market in the current time is inflated by new money that doesn't know where else to put it, and that Courtside price increases in lesser rookies show the respect skilled hobbyists have for the rarity of those cards. And while I would not be putting money in lesser players where the Courtsides are going absolutely crazy right now, I would be focusing on Luka, Trey, and even anybody that you find in your own research where Courtsides are dramatically underperforming silvers, because the buying opportunity is enormous. Now, you might have your doubts about the Courtsides, just like people did about the value, and honestly, back a little bit ago, in the value of numbered Prizm parallels versus silvers. But I think what you're going to learn is that, like with those numbered Prizm parallels, which have outperformed recently, is that no matter over time, no matter if it's hobbyists or investors, there's going to be a respect for rarity, and I think that that's what's going to drive Courtsides in the future and why I like them better than Prizm silvers, if you can get them at the right price. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and catch you next time.